Howdy, this is Chris Young with 80/20 CRM, and I'm going to run you through the Welcome to Salesforce quick tours. Super useful. You may have missed them when you jumped into the platform, so I want to make sure that you get a chance to step through them, and I'll kind of talk through them a little bit. So this is typical of what shows up when you jump into a trial org or a new org. And it gives you a few options. Are you looking to connect with customers, manage deals or opportunities, manage your accounts, businesses, and customers? Are you trying to make sure you have good processes in place, whether streamlining them through automation or maybe adding validations or approvals? And then do you want to forecast your revenue? So we're going to step through these. First, connect with customers. So it's going to jump into a lead. We've got sample data in this org, and it's going to help us step us through what we can see here, what we're looking at. So the first thing it does, it jumps into leads intelligence view. The intelligence view gives you cards of the different activities that you have across the top. So we've got 6 total leads, 2 with no activity, 1 has nothing upcoming, we should schedule something, 3 overdue, and 1 upcoming. We can bookmark these, so this intelligence view is pretty new. It's nice, it's pretty cool what you can do with it. You can bookmark those as your favorites, and then you can set activities, and you can change your views and swap it around. It's kind of like a forecasting tool, but for leads and just to see what activity we have going. So working with a lead record. So this is just showing you the lead list view, and then it's going to jump us into a lead record specifically. So it kicked John Steele. You'll notice this is nothing like the 80/20 CRM layout. We've customized our layout substantially, tried to improve UI, UX. We've made things dynamic so they can open and close and just simpler. We tried to make it, simpler, useful for you. So this says you can create tasks for immediate action or add them to your to-do list. So here you'll notice it's highlighting new task. So we can create a task. That's obvious for you, but just know that you can create it for yourself or you can assign it to someone else. And then you can work directly from your to-do list right here. So this button here, if you were to pop that open, you'd be able to see all of your to-dos that you have for the day. So we do have this in our utility bar, which is what's that called across the bottom as well, because it's useful to see, hey, what do I have to do today? You can open them, star them, complete them. It's a really nice, quick toolbar for that. You can send them emails, phone calls, depending on what you have set up in the platform. Okay, so next, if we want to send an email, we've got a couple of ways to send an email. And we could do that from up here, from here. In our 80/20 CRM, we actually have an activity hub that brings all of your calling, texting, call logs, tasks, events, emails, files, notes, ChatGPT all into one unified spot, which is really nice. And so this is saying, hey, before you can compose your first email, you need to connect either a 360 or 365 or Google G Suite account. And that's no problem. So if I hit this email button, see it's a little bit in the way here. Let's see if I can move this guy for you. You'll see, hey, send through Salesforce, connect Office 365. That's just a setting in the back end. So we'll swap it to Google or whatever it needs to be to fit your company. No big deal. It's an easy change. And we can just say no, send through Salesforce for now. It just pops open. And here it's saying, hey, you can also insert, create, or update a template. So if I want to send John Steele an email from my address, I can also use org-wide addresses. So if you have an acquisition address, a disposition address, no problem, you can use those. I can also send to multiple people. You can send up to 5,000 list emails in a day. Subject, rich text field, attach files, insert merge field. So if you want to say, hey, first name, good chatting with you, or have you seen this, or whatever. If I click template, I can insert a template, or I can create this email with the merge fields and then just save it as a new template. Really useful. Okay, I'm going to close this guy. And now it's going to run you through how to upload or import data. So we hit continue, and it's going to take us to leads, and it's going to take us to the import wizard here. You could also get that from the button there. We've covered imports already. but we can click import leads, and then it's going to take you to either import through CSV or do the more advanced import where you select a few other options, record types and map fields, which we've already walked through that. So not really necessary, but we'll say, hey, if we haven't done anything, we're going to import our leads. We're going to upload files. You can download the sample file there. And we'll show that a little differently. Here we go. Okay, so the file they give you is everything is there except for it looks like annual revenue and description. But we could, oh yeah, this one doesn't have this. Maybe we don't have description on the page layout, and maybe we don't have annual revenue on the page layout. So that's an important piece that I haven't covered before. If the field isn't on the page layout or the user doesn't have access to that field, it won't allow you to import to it. So either this wizard or the data import wizard won't show you fields that aren't on the page layout. It's one great thing about Data Loader is that it doesn't require a specific page layout. So we hit start import, continue. We're importing your leads with a nice butterfly. I'm a beautiful butterfly. All right, all done there. Great. And now it's going to show you that import progress. Looks like it's all good, done. This is just through the simple version. The more complex version would be a little bit different. All right, let's jump into the next tour, right? So we went through connecting with customers, right? So now we're going to go through manage deals. And this is your opportunity pipeline. And the opportunity pipeline is pretty neat. You could also change it to a normal list view, which we'll cover in another video. But this, you can split this up in different pipeline views or forecast views, different periods, close dates, owners. You can move it to a chart if you'd like to see a chart instead of your different stages, opportunity stages. Give you an idea of what's coming, anything closing this month that I own, and then any changes if we wanted to look at changes since the start of this quarter, this month, whatever period you've got there. All right, let's go back to inspection view. I can also see anything that's come in new this month or that's been won, any increases in amounts. So this amount field is what we're looking at primarily. And then moved in, moved out, lost, overdue, etc. So this would be opportunities that have a close date in the past. Should have closed already, but it hasn't. So I can click those cards and it's going to show me which deals fall in that category, which is pretty nice. Okay, so this consolidated view of your pipeline metrics, opportunities, insights, predictions, activity. Use this view to focus on the most important opportunities and forecast revenue more accurately. So when you add AI, Einstein into this, you can get additional insights and you can jump into opportunities and see those opportunity scores. Lots of good things available in your opportunities. Now it's going to visualize it. So I went a little ahead, sorry, but it's going to say, hey, you can also see a chart here. And let's go on to the next one. Now it wants us to change from showing pipeline changes to category. So we'll swap that to category, show forecast category. In this case, it looks like we don't have a chart available. That's fine. But in this case, what you're seeing is we've created a forecast, and these are the different bins that we put those forecasts in. So total forecast is what probabilities have we included in this forecast that we're interested in seeing. So we've included closed won, anything that's a commit. Usually a commit is like 90% or better. So it's, committed to the forecast. Best case, saying, hey, we think we're gonna get these, and then pipeline is pretty early on, just things that are filling the pipeline. And then closed loss, there's another category as well. All right. And finally, you can change inline edit these opportunities. So I can say, hey, this one, instead of negotiation, this is actually closed won, and I can save that, and that will update the pipeline view. All right, next. So to get insights recommendations, it says use the power of data science and machine learning, right? They have a lot of AI in Salesforce, so a lot of Einstein tools. to see predictions about deal health and recommended actions. So recommended actions largely come when you build a model. You can build kind of a data science model behind the scenes, and it can pull even more insight for you, more unique to the industry. After entering your own data, click the side panel icon to access the deal insights. So what we're gonna do here, I don't think we've got any data. There it is. So we can see, if we click this side panel here, the account, the stage, reviewing the last 7 days. I can see all activity that's gone on and any next steps. If we have an opportunity next step, I can see recent activities, and then I can see any meetings we've had, any calls, and any emails. Now, the important part about this, if you have conversation insights, it will pull details out of your meetings, right? If you have the recordings in here, or your calls, if you've got, depending on the CTI system you have, or call notes, and then emails as well. So Einstein Activity Capture will pull insights out of your emails. So the idea here is it will review your interaction on this opportunity and try and pull out, hey, you talked about pricing or negotiations or setting up a meeting, or different insights that it can pull out from that. So that's what that is working on. And you can always change that model or enhance the insights by giving it some feedback. Okay, let's see. Let's look on a little bit more. Did we already review all of these? Oh yeah, I think now it's going into the pipeline more specifically. So it wants to look at the pipeline metrics, so I can click that. We're seeing the high level view, the total there. Let's see, have total control of the fields that appear on the pipeline. Right, so this is if you want to change, let me move this. If you want to change the fields, select fields to display, create new view, or metric settings. Let me close the view, metric settings. So I can change what I'm summarizing by. In this case, I only have amount on this view, but if I wanted to put gross profit or margins or costs or anything else, I could throw those in there as well. And next, if you want to filter what opportunities you're seeing. So in this case, we're looking at close this month and I'm the owner. I could say closing this quarter and all owners. So you got a few filter options. That's not unlike other filters in list view. You'll notice this layout looks a little bit different than the list view, but similar. Okay, hover on its name and click the side panel. We already did that, so no big deal there. And if you do have some favorites, so let's say I'm interested in these few here, then I can filter that. Whoops. Oh, that's not what I meant to do, sorry. Then I can filter that to just my favorites. If I click this button, it'll just filter down to those favorites, right? So that's a little bit about the pipeline view, Einstein Intelligence, and your opportunities. Hopefully that was helpful. So we'll finish that up and let's run into the next tour. Yeah, managing accounts. Looks like we're in recently viewed. Let's jump into all accounts and let's pop that tour open again. All right, each account, it says has its own listing, but really its own record. And you can edit account information from that record. That's, nothing surprising there, right? So we can jump into the record. Here it's showing you related, so the contacts on that account, the contracts, partners. So this is, again, just a demo org. And so it's showing you the related records that are attached to this account. In our case, it'd be opportunities, transactions, contacts, offers, lots of good stuff, form submissions. Here's also what's called the highlight panel. It's got some buttons. You can also see the account hierarchy because you could have parent and child accounts if you got franchises or branches, which is useful to have. And if I click that hierarchy button, it'll show me which accounts are here. All right. So let's just go back, jump back into that manage accounts tour. Next. We saw the hierarchy. Okay, account history. It's talking about the timeline view. So I can see meetings, emails, call logs, and tasks that have been set. And if you have Einstein activity capture, you can see the interactions and insights that have come from those emails. Let me see if they've got that active. If I pop this email open, I don't see anything here, so it looks like maybe they don't have it active here, but you would see insights found with a little Einstein character next to it. All right, next. And if you want to change the page, you can hit the gear icon here. You know what, go to edit page, and that will let you move stuff around, which we've covered that already. If I want to, by the way, if you want to snooze this so it doesn't pop up on you anymore, if it keeps popping up, you can snooze it, or you can just, eventually it'll stop showing up. So it's not that big of a deal, but you can snooze that if you like. Finish. Let's jump into the next tour, simplify and enforce processes. So this one's all about optimizing how you work, streamlining things for your team, and making sure you have business processes, so paths and approvals and other things like that. So let's jump into that. So this one is talking about paths for key objects, leads, opportunities, transactions in our case. The path is the status or stages up here, and you can add guidance for success to that path. So you'll see here we've dropped that arrow down and we can see key fields and guidance that we've given the team. And as it mentions, a visual representation of how we're doing. It could be linear or non-linear, but how we're doing on that path. Reps can view and update their progress directly in the tool, right? Of course, that's the point of the CRM. And then each stage services key fields for reps to complete. So that's this key fields here. This is part of the guidance for success that I mentioned. So moving to the next stage in the sales process, and validation rules can define if a field is required. So if I try and move on to the next stage of validation and I don't have a mount, for example, validation can say, hey, you said you're closed, but I don't have an amount, I can't close this, or I don't have a close date or something else. So it can just enforce good data hygiene, data quality, like we talked about before. All right, next, after that guy, and then the guidance for success, as it's talking about here, is you can give them just a few bullets of what they should be doing in that specific paths or status or stage. So we need these fields, and in this case, hey, make sure you've got agreements, make sure you've adhered to discount processes, and you get the signed contract. We have actually implemented this in 80/20 CRM as well. You're welcome to change it to what you'd like. But we try and give some pointers on how quick to react and what fields to get, some of that good stuff. Okay, last thing, Einstein next best action. I don't think they've even got that on here, but you could set up next best action, which says, hey, you've hit this stage, here's the next thing that you should be doing. We also have implemented what's called orchestrators or Work Guide Plus. And for us, it's kind of taking next best action and putting it into a screen flow. So the users may see, hey, it's time to skip trace this lead, or it's time to call them, or we need to do this different activity. So it's a little different. It takes your next action, but instead of just recommending, it actually puts in a flow on the screen for you. All right, so that one is processes. And let's go to the last. And we're gonna jump into forecasting revenue, which not too unlike the pipeline view we were looking at before. So it takes the same opportunity data. This does run from the opportunity, by the way. So that's why we roll back all the transactions, all the financials under opportunities, so that you can use their powerful forecasting tools. All right, sales projections. Their data says customers who use Salesforce for forecasting have seen a 28% increase in forecast accuracy relative to other tools. That makes sense if you've got all of your data in here and you've got your opportunities tracked and your team is trained, then I don't doubt that that's true. So first things first, it wants to set a date range, right? So when are we starting, when are we ending? This is 1 month. Why don't we go back and just do this quarter. So we'll go October through December. All right, and then we can see our forecast if we've set a quota, and then we can see our commit forecast, our best case forecast, and our open pipeline there. So we've changed that date range. Let's go forward. Oops, got a little ahead of myself again. So you can see the opportunities here that roll up under these guys. And if I click the value of one of these, you'll notice I can see them. Close only, commit forecast, I can see all the opportunities that are in that commit channel, and then my best case and my open pipeline. All right, and I can also see some insights. So this one, hey, your value decreased by 50K over this period. You lost some in your open pipeline. These ones increased, which is great. Probably move from open to best case or another stage. And so it gives you some idea of, hey, what's happening with these opportunities? What's going on with them? And then you can edit these on the fly, like it mentions. You can add fields in here, and then I can hit this pencil icon and say, you know what, this one we're actually bumping up. We're going to close it tomorrow and save that. Great. And then that will update. Maybe it got moved out. So here you can see the date was moved back by 2 days. So it is tracking your history, which is really cool too. So you can see a lot of information that way. And then if you want to see a chart, you got that available here too, which is pretty cool. So if I change this to a chart, you will notice that forecasts are a separate tab from opportunities. So your opportunities have the pipeline view, and the forecast tab give you a more in-depth forecast. You can change your forecast models. So you can create custom models that are forecasting on different fields. So if you have a gross profit field or some other, cap rates or something that you want to forecast on, or NOI, then you can change that model and forecast and include those different fields, which is nice too. So let's go back. Let's see if it'll work this time. Chart view. There we go. So I can see my quota. These are closed. I can see commits. Best case doesn't look like we have anything in here. And then open pipeline up here. So it gives you a few different views and lets you kind of dig into that. If I want to see historical trends, right, I can see over time how I've done compared to my open pipeline, my quotas, and how my team is doing. So really useful tools there. I'm actually going to just jump into this. I think we covered everything, but just to be sure here, next, go back to grid, next, and finish. Okay, so those are the tours. We covered leads, we covered opportunities, we covered accounts, and then we covered a little bit about process automation and forecast. So in case you missed it, that was not so quick a run through of those tours, but I tried to get through it and add some insights along the way. Hope that was helpful. I'm Chris Young with 80/20 CRM. Have a good one.